Optimism was the name of the game as world financial markets closed on Friday. The primary driver behind the optimism was better than expected job creation numbers out of the US. According to US Department of Labour figures, around 163,000 new jobs was created in the US in July, up from an expectation of around 100,000. However, US unemployment has actually ticked up to 8.3%, up from 8.2%, but that did little to muddy investors' optimism. Looking at Europe, there's still a large amount of discussion over the European Central Bank's proposed intervention in the bond markets. The Germans in particular continue to send mixed messages. The German government basically indicated that it would not actually act to prevent the European Central Bank from intervening in the bond markets. However, German politicians in the European Parliament continue to criticise the European Central Bank for acting outside its mandate. Looking at the equity markets then, the Dow put on more than 200 points, and in Europe a similar story, with most markets up 2% and the German market maxing out at over up 4%. In terms of currency, it was a case of those trading currencies like the Kiwi strengthening, the Kiwi ending up very close to the 82-cent US mark. In May 2012, Mintel, a UK-based research company, released a report into the primary drivers behind milk consumption in the United Kingdom. The report is of importance not only in terms of the United Kingdom, but also because some of the trends from that report are probably applicable to other developed countries' milk development trends as well. Looking at demographics first, the report found that retirees generally have a low usage of milk as well as not interested in particularly high-value milk products. The key issue is that by 2016, around 22% of the UK population will be more than 65 years old. This important group, therefore, needs a significant amount of research done to continue to drive milk consumption. One of the other key outtakes is that most milk is actually consumed with coffee, with breakfast cereals, in particular cold ones, following very closely behind. However, there's a significant change in the pattern of consumption, and breakfast in the UK is not a significant meal anymore. What it means is that milk producers and processors need to find other high-usage milk occasions to actually fill in for this gap. Overall, milk consumption in the UK has declined from about 1.8 litres per week in 2010 to around 1.5 litres per week in 2011, and this is an ongoing challenge for milk production. In terms of that worldview as well, it demonstrates the need to develop new products which will actually meet modern lifestyles, as well as the need to actually develop products for those emerging markets which will potentially take up the slack.